All right, so you know me, I absolutely love those Premier League weekends, and especially as a Liverpool fan, this one was, well, it's just pure magic. We're diving deep today into the Reds' 6-3 victory over Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh, okay.
And trust me, this wasn't just another win. We've got two articles here that we're going to be looking at that sort of paint the picture.
Right.
But we're going to be going beyond the headlines. We're going to try to understand what this means for Liverpool's title hopes this season.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got to unpack that Salah magic.
Yeah. I mean, what's so fascinating about this particular match is that we're seeing a Liverpool side that's not just winning,
Right.
but dominating. I mean, a 6-3 scoreline against a team like Tottenham, I mean, that's a real statement,
Yeah.
And I think they are playing with such a swagger right now that it really should put every other team in the league on high alert.
Yeah, 6 goals is definitely a message.
Oh, yeah.
But Salah's performance, that's a whole different level of communication. He's the first player in Premier League history to hit double-digit goals and assists before Christmas.
That's right.
We're talking about a league with absolute legends like Shearer and Henry.
Absolutely.
And Salah's just carved out his own space in the record books.
It's incredible. And I think it's not even just the numbers.
Right.
It's the way that he is blending goal scoring with playmaking now.
Right.
It's not just finishing chances. He's creating them for his teammates as well.
Yeah.
He's become this complete attacker that can really dictate the tempo of a match.
At 31.
And to be doing it at 31 years old when a lot of players start to maybe decline a little bit.
Yeah.
It really does raise some questions about his training, his mentality, even his diet. This level of sustained performance, that's what separates the good from the truly great players.
And he keeps adding to his legacy, doesn't he?
He does.
So those 2 goals against Tottenham, that puts him past Billy Liddell to become Liverpool's 4th highest goal scorer of all time. Now we're talking about a club icon here. Played for over 2 decades.
Right.
For Salah to surpass him in a relatively short period, it speaks volumes about his impact at the club.
I mean, it really does, because Liddell represents a different era of Liverpool.
Yeah.
A symbol of their resilience during some really challenging times.
Yeah.
But Salah's achievement, it connects him to that lineage of greatness.
Yeah.
It shows how the club's spirit is carried forward through this individual brilliance.
Absolutely.
It's not just about surpassing a record. It's about contributing to the narrative of a club that's just synonymous with attacking football and just this relentless ambition.
Yeah, it's like every time he steps on the pitch, he's writing a new chapter in Liverpool's history.
Yeah.
But you know what really caught my eye in this match?
What's that?
Trent Alexander-Arnold's passing.
Right.
Seriously, has there been a better passer in the Premier League era than him?
It's a good question.
That assist to Diaz for the first goal, I mean, it was like he had a GPS locked onto Diaz's boot.
Yeah. I mean, Alexander-Arnold is just such a fascinating case study.
He is?
Because he's completely redefined the role of the fullback.
Yeah.
That assist that you were talking about, it wasn't just about pinpoint accuracy. It was about vision and understanding of space.
Right.
And he just completely exploited the high line that Tottenham were playing.
Yeah.
And the weight of his pass was just perfect.
Yeah.
Just dropping it right into Diaz's stride, didn't give the defenders a chance.
And Diaz was on fire in this game.
Oh, he was on.
Playing as the striker, 2 goals for him. And he was a constant menace to Tottenham's defense.
He was everywhere.
And it wasn't just about his finishing either. It was his work rate.
Right.
His ability to find those pockets of space and exploit them.
And I think Diaz's versatility is a huge asset for Liverpool. I mean, we've seen him excel on the wing, but as a central striker, he just brings this different dimension to their attack. He's not your traditional target man.
Right.
But his movement off the ball, his willingness to run in behind, it just creates chaos for defenders.
Yeah.
It just forces them to make decisions.
Right.
And against a player as quick and as clinical as Diaz, one wrong move can be fatal.
This match wasn't just about the big names, though.
Yeah.
Alisson, Van Dijk, Gomez, you could go down the list.
Yeah.
Every single player delivered.
Absolutely. And I think that's actually what separates this Liverpool team from some of the previous iterations.
Okay.
We've seen sides that are built around individual brilliance, but this one feels like a true unit.
Okay.
Each player understands their role and they work together so seamlessly.
Yeah.
It's like watching a well-oiled machine where every cog is essential to the overall function.
It's a testament to Arne Slot, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
He's come in and he's instilled this belief in the squad.
Yeah.
This understanding that they're greater than the sum of their parts.
I mean, Slot's impact has been remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's built on the foundation that Klopp laid, but he's added his own tactical nuances.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to make bold decisions like, starting Diaz as the striker.
Yeah.
And he's just getting the best out of players who, maybe weren't performing at their peak before.
Okay, so we've got Salah's record-breaking performance, Liverpool's tactical masterclass. But let's be honest, the big question on everyone's mind is,
What's that?
what does this mean for the title race?
Right.
Can anyone stop Liverpool with Salah in this form?
I mean, Liverpool are undoubtedly the front runners right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing with so much confidence, they're scoring goals for fun, and they have a manager who is just so tactically astute.
Yeah.
But the Premier League is notoriously unpredictable.
Oh, it is.
There are so many factors that can come into play.
Like what?
Injuries, the January transfer window, the form of their rivals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long season and anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
But what we can say for certain is that Liverpool have sent a message.
Yep.
They've announced themselves as serious contenders, and they're not going away anytime soon.
So for our listeners out there, the question is,
Yeah.
what aspects of their dominance stand out to you? Is it the individual brilliance? Is it the tactical setup? Or is it something else entirely?
Good question.
We're just getting started on this deep dive,
Yeah.
and we're going to unpack all of these elements. We're going to be taking a closer look at some of the tactical decisions that shaped this victory, and we're going to explore whether Liverpool can sustain this level of performance over the course of the season.
Right.
But first, let's shift our focus to a specific moment that I think epitomized Liverpool's dominance.
Okay.
Alexander-Arnold's assist to Diaz for the opening goal.
Yeah.
This wasn't just a beautiful pass.
Right.
It was a tactical masterstroke that exposed Tottenham's weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I think it really set the tone for the entire match.
Absolutely. So let's break down that moment frame by frame to really understand why it was so significant.
Let's do it.
All right. That assist, the one you mentioned?
Yeah.
It perfectly encapsulates that tactical shift that we're seeing under Arnslot.
Right.
So Tottenham, they were pressing really high, right?
Yeah.
Trying to disrupt Liverpool's build-up play. But that left space in behind.
It did.
And Alexander-Arnold, instead of playing that sort of, safe pass, he recognized that vulnerability instantly.
Yeah, it was almost like he was waiting for Tottenham to make that mistake.
Right.
They thought they were putting the pressure on Liverpool, but they were walking right into a trap.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of a well-executed game plan.
Yeah.
Liverpool were prepared for that high press.
Yeah.
They knew that if Tottenham committed too many players forward, it would leave those gaps.
Yeah.
And, their quick attackers would be able to exploit them.
And Diaz, with his pace, I mean, he's just the perfect player for that.
Oh, absolutely.
To exploit that kind of space, he was off and running before the Tottenham defenders even knew what hit them.
It's not just about pace, though. It's about movement. It's about anticipation.
Right.
Diaz timed his run perfectly,
Yeah.
stayed on side, and made himself available for that, pinpoint pass from Alexander-Arnold.
So it was a combination of tactical awareness, individual brilliance, and a bit of opportunism, right?
Absolutely.
That's what makes this Liverpool side so dangerous. They can hurt you in so many different ways.
In so many ways. And it wasn't just a one-off.
Right.
Throughout the match, you saw Liverpool using similar tactics to create those scoring opportunities.
Yeah.
They were constantly probing for weaknesses, looking for those pockets of space to exploit.
And speaking of probing for weaknesses,
Yeah.
can we talk about Liverpool's pressing game?
Yeah.
It was relentless.
Oh.
They were like a pack of wolves hunting down the ball and forcing Tottenham into mistakes.
And their energy levels, off the charts.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about running around like headless chickens. It was organized, disciplined. Each player knew when to press, when to hold their position, when to cover for a teammate.
It felt like Tottenham couldn't string two passes together without a Liverpool player breathing down their necks.
It really did.
They were completely disrupted.
And that's exactly what Liverpool wanted.
Yeah.
They wanted to make Tottenham uncomfortable, force them into those rush decisions.
Yeah.
And it worked perfectly.
It did.
Tottenham ended up giving the ball away cheaply in dangerous areas,
Yeah.
which led to several of Liverpool's goals.
So we've talked about the attacking brilliance, the tactical discipline.
Right.
But what about the other side of the game?
Yeah.
How did Liverpool's defense hold up against Tottenham's attacking threats?
Liverpool's defense was rock solid.
Yeah.
I mean, Van Dijk was there, marshaling the back line with his usual authority.
Yeah.
And Gomez alongside him, I mean, I think he had one of his best games in a Liverpool shirt.
He did.
They anticipated the danger, made crucial interceptions, and just won their individual battles.
And Gomez has really come into his own this season.
He has.
He's formed such a formidable partnership with Van Dijk.
Oh, they're great together.
And they just seem to complement each other perfectly.
Yeah, their communication is excellent.
Yeah.
And they have this great understanding of each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
They're both strong in the air. They're both quick across the ground.
Right.
They're both comfortable playing out from the back.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the midfielders, Gravenberch and McAllister.
Right.
I mean, they were like a shield in front of the defense,
Absolutely.
breaking up Tottenham's attacks, recycling possession.
They were exceptional. Gravenberch, with his composure and passing range, he really dictated the tempo of the game.
Yeah.
While McAllister provided the energy and the tenacity.
Yeah.
I mean, they were everywhere, winning tackles, intercepting passes, linking up play with the attackers.
It's almost unfair how well-rounded this Liverpool team is.
It is.
I mean, they have the attacking flair, they've got the defensive solidity, and they have a midfield that can control the game.
Yeah. And that's what makes them such strong title contenders.
I
mean, they're not reliant on one or two players.
right.
They have quality throughout the entire squad.
Yeah.
And they're just playing with this confidence and swagger that is infectious.
It's been a while since we've seen a Liverpool team this dominant.
It has.
They're ticking all the boxes, but like you said earlier,
Yeah,
the Premier League is a marathon, not a sprint.
that's right.
So can they sustain this level of performance over a 38-game season?
It's a good question.
What are the potential pitfalls that they need to be wary of?
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And there are a few things to consider.
Okay.
Firstly, staying healthy is going to be crucial.
Right.
Losing key players to injury could really disrupt their rhythm.
Especially someone like Salah.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the engine that drives this team.
His absence would be a massive blow.
Yeah.
Secondly, maintaining their focus and intensity is going to be essential.
Yeah.
The Premier League is relentless, and there's no room for complacency.
Right. So they can't afford to, take any opponent lightly, even those that are considered to be weaker on paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And thirdly, dealing with the pressure of being title favorites.
Right.
That's a challenge in itself.
It is.
The weight of expectation can be a burden, especially for a young squad.
It's a mental game as much as a physical one.
Oh, absolutely.
They need to stay grounded, focus on the process, and take it one game at a time.
One game at a time, and they need to be adaptable as well.
Okay.
Teams are going to try and find ways to counter Liverpool's tactics.
Right.
They'll try to stifle their pressing game. They'll try to clog up the midfield.
Right.
They'll try to isolate Salah.
So tactical flexibility is going to be key here.
Oh, absolutely.
Slot needs to have a plan B and maybe even a plan C up his sleeve.
He does. He needs to be able to adapt to different opponents, different game situations, and those different challenges that are going to arise over the course of the season.
So it sounds like you're saying that while Liverpool are in a fantastic position right now,
Yeah.
there are still plenty of hurdles to overcome if they want to win the title.
That's the nature of the Premier League, isn't it?
It is.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Big-
Twists and turns at every corner.
It really is.
But I think what we've seen from Liverpool so far suggests that they have the talent, the tactical acumen,
Yeah.
and the mental fortitude to navigate those challenges.
So it's not just about how good they are right now, but about how they respond to adversity.
Absolutely.
How they adapt to those changing circumstances.
Right.
And how they maintain their hunger and desire throughout the entire season.
Precisely. And I think for you, the listener, the question is, what do you think will be the biggest test for this Liverpool side? Is it staying healthy? Is it maintaining their focus? Or is it adapting to their opponent's tactics?
And we'll delve deeper into those potential challenges and explore what Liverpool need to do to stay ahead of the pack. But first, let's shift our focus back to the tactical innovations that have been so instrumental in their success.
Okay.
So, let's talk about how Slot has transformed Liverpool's fullbacks into attacking weapons,
All right.
and how that's created this whole new dimension to their play.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about the individual brilliance. We've talked about the tactical discipline.
Yeah.
But I want to get into like something bigger here.
Okay.
Seeing Alexander-Arnold basically playing as a midfielder at times, pushing so high up the pitch, it feels like Slot has taken this evolution of the fullback role to like a whole new level.
It really does feel like that. And you can see, I think, the influence of managers like Pep Guardiola.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he really pioneered this approach.
He did.
But I think Slot's putting his own spin on it, would you say?
Oh, absolutely.
He's recognizing that players like Alexander-Arnold possess a skill set that goes beyond that traditional defending.
Right.
It's almost like he's weaponized their passing ability.
Yeah.
They're not just providing width out there. They're dictating the tempo of attacks from deep.
And it creates this really fascinating dilemma for opponents, doesn't it?
It does.
You know, do they press high and risk leaving space behind for players like Diaz to exploit?
Yeah.
Or do they sit back and allow Alexander-Arnold to just pick them apart with his passes?
Yeah, it's a no-win situation.
It is.
And it's not just Alexander-Arnold.
Well,
Robertson on the other side is equally dangerous with those overlapping runs and those crosses.
Oh, absolutely. And this tactical shift has like these ripple effects throughout the whole team.
Yeah.
It allows the midfielders to push higher up the pitch, you know, supporting the attack, creating those overloads in the central areas.
Right.
And it forces the opposition to be more cautious.
Yeah.
Which creates space for Salah to operate in.
It's like this chain reaction. One tactical tweak, and it just unlocks this whole new dimension of attacking possibilities.
It really does. And I think it also speaks to the adaptability of these modern footballers.
Yeah.
We're seeing players who are comfortable operating in multiple positions, blurring the lines between those traditional roles.
Yeah, it's making the game more dynamic, more fluid.
It is.
And frankly, more exciting to watch.
Oh, 100%. And it's not just happening at Liverpool.
Right.
We're seeing similar trends across Europe.
We are.
As managers just constantly look for ways to gain that tactical edge.
Right.
So I think the evolution of the fullback role is just a perfect example of how the game is constantly changing, constantly evolving.
Okay, so let's zoom out even further here.
All right.
We've talked about Liverpool's dominance. We've talked about Salah's historic form.
Right.
The tactical innovations.
Yeah.
But what does all of this tell us about the future of the Premier League?
It's a good question.
Are we witnessing a power shift?
Well, I mean, the Premier League has been dominated by a few teams in recent years.
For sure.
But I think what we're seeing with Liverpool suggests that like a new era might be on the horizon. They've got this young, hungry squad.
They do.
A manager who's tactically astute.
Right.
And a system that just gets the best out of their attacking talent.
But can they sustain this level of performance over a 38-game season?
Yeah.
I mean, the Premier League is relentless. There are going to be challenges along the way.
There will be bumps in the road, for
Yeah.
sure. Injuries, fatigue, the pressure of expectation.
Right.
Those are all factors that can derail a team's title ambitions.
They can.
But what's really encouraging about this Liverpool side is their resilience.
It really is.
They've shown this remarkable ability to bounce back from setbacks,
Yeah.
to grind out results, even when they're not playing at their best.
And that's the mark of a true champion.
It is.
You know, it's not just about blowing teams away when you're in top form.
Right.
It's about finding a way to win, even when the odds are stacked against you.
Absolutely. And with a player like Salah leading the charge, I mean, anything seems possible.
Right.
He's setting a new standard for individual brilliance.
Yeah.
And he's just inspiring his teammates to reach new heights.
Salah's performance against Tottenham wasn't just a moment of individual brilliance.
Yeah.
It was a statement.
It was.
It was a message to the rest of the league that Liverpool are here to stay.
Yeah.
And they're ready to challenge for the title.
They're not messing around.
So it's too early to crown them champions.
Yeah.
But they have all the ingredients to make a serious run at the title.
They do.
And for you, the listener, the question is, what do you think will be the defining factor in their campaign? Is it Salah's form? Is it Slot's tactics? Or is it that team's collective spirit? We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've analyzed the match, dissected the tactics, and explored those broader implications for Liverpool in the Premier League. But ultimately, the beauty of football lies in its unpredictability.
Exactly. That's why we watch. That's why we analyze. That's why we debate.
Yeah.
The journey is just as important as the destination.
So to you, the listener, we leave you with this: don't just follow the results. Immerse yourself in the nuances of the game. Understand the tactics, appreciate the individual brilliance, and savor the moments of magic.
That's right.
That's how you truly become a student of the beautiful game.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that passion for football burning bright.
Yeah, keep the fire going.